Senator, you have the floor.
Good morning, Cahill Ganevig, agus Curran Fulcher Riven Ara Freshen. And Minister, may I say I'm particularly pleased to see that you have come to the House today to deal with this matter, because I know that it's something that you know a great deal about, and you have already corresponded with parents in St Mary's Boys National School about this issue. So you're very welcome to the House, and I'm delighted that you've taken the time to speak to us. St Mary's Boys National School, as you know, is a national school in Booterstown on Grotto Avenue. At the bottom of Booterstown Avenue, there are about 300 boys in the school, but it is a school that has demonstrated extraordinary inclusivity when it comes to special educational needs, particularly autism. And where many schools in the area cannot accommodate children with autism, St Mary's and the school, and particularly I want to pay tribute to Mr Noel Scully and his team in the school, they have gone to great lengths to include those students, to accommodate those students, and to allow them to continue to attend school in a very inclusive and full way, in a way that isn't possible in other schools. Unfortunately, however, we know that there is a huge demand in the area for autism services and autism inclusion facilities. Autism is something that affects boys to a much greater extent than it does girls, by a factor of 4. And so in a boys-only school, it's understandable that there's a much greater demand than there might be in a girls' school or even a mixed school. So we know there's an enormous demand here, and I know that you're aware of that too. What's really significant about this project is that there is massive support in the community, in the school community, but in the wider community and in the local parish as well, for a solution here that will facilitate those who need the ASU, the Autism Services Unit. And there is a ready-made solution that's going to work, because right next to St Mary's Boys School is the Booterstown Parish Hall, which is right at the end of Grotto Avenue where the school is located, facing onto Rock Road, but with a side entrance that literally the students have to pass on their way to and from school. So there's an adjacent building there which is owned by the Catholic parish of Booterstown, and Father Jerry Kane, I know, has also been in touch with the school and is very supportive of this. That building is available, and what we want, and what the students and the parents and the community want, is for the department to purchase that building and to provide it to St Mary's Boys National School as a facility, as a location for an ASU for those who need it. And there is room to meet the demand that is existing there in that building. But as I say, the beauty of this project is that everybody's for it. And I think, in fairness, you are for it too. The department sees the reasonable nature of what is proposed here. It is a building that is right next to the school. It is a building that is available. It is a building that I understand the parish is willing to part with to facilitate the ASU for St Mary's Boys National School. So the question that arises then is, can we do this? And can we do it in short order? Because I know that that building is available now. It isn't going to interfere with, for example, adjacent community facilities that are there. They won't be interfered with. But with the goodwill that is there from the school community, from the local community, and hopefully from the department, there is a ready-made solution to deal with an issue. And this is an issue, as you know, that exists throughout the area. I don't believe there is an ASU in that area at all, anywhere in a line from Booterstown to Leopardstown. There is one, I think, in Monkstown, but there is a serious dearth of facilities for young boys, particularly with autism, in this area. And St Mary's Boys School in Booterstown, they have come forward with a solution that is ready-made, that is easy to effect. All it requires is the budgetary box ticking from the department. And I hope that when you respond to this issue, that you'll be able to tell us that there is progress being made. I know parents are frustrated that this matter has been in progress for a long time, but what they want to know is, when can this happen? It's already made. It just requires the budgetary allocation from the Department of Education to make this happen and to create a solution, both for your department and for the school community in Booterstown.
Thank you, Senator Ward. You made a very strong case. I call on the Minister now.
Thank you, Senator. And I know that the issues that pertain to children and the challenges that pertain to children with additional needs is something that's very close to your heart, and you bring up here in this chamber on a regular basis. Obviously, one of the things that I want to do in my position as the very first Minister for Special Education is ensure that we try and endeavour and in fact make sure that we do provide special class places and special school places for all children with additional needs, whether it's in South Dublin or whether it's in South Cork or wherever it is in the country. And that's something that I'm determined to do. To that end, in the budget last year, I secured €2 billion going into special education for that very purpose, amongst other, obviously, needs that are required in terms of providing special education teachers, in terms of providing SNAs and indeed other matters. And you know, Senator, yourself, and will be acutely aware that the National Council for Special Education work through their CNOs on the ground very closely with schools and with parents to make sure that we can provide all of these class places. And in fact, we use a 5-year forecasting model which has recently been enhanced to see and to determine the capacity for those schools and places around the country. And we are aware that issues have arisen in recent years regarding a shortage of suitable school places, in particular pockets in the country, primarily driven by the very significant increase in children with additional needs and in demand. I hear what you're saying around boys and autism. There is actually an exponential growth of girls with autism also. There are a number of different reasons for that, and perhaps the enhanced way of diagnosing has brought that up. But it's important in terms that there is suitable school accommodation for all children, and through that more enhanced national and local level planning, it's my objective that all special education places can come on stream in a timely manner. Specifically around St Mary's Boys National School in Booterstown, I know that there's a Zoom meeting on this tomorrow evening as well. The department and the NCSC are very grateful to schools who continue to respond positively in terms of trying to provide that education, but we do accept where there are circumstances where there simply isn't the capacity and there isn't the room, particularly in urban areas where there's high density and they simply don't have the area. What I can say to you today, Senator, is that I can confirm that the department has been in contact with the parish in relation to the potential acquisition of Booterstown Parish Hall, and I note that we're at IDIM around that. It's something that I would very much agree with. Evaluation of the hall has been received and assessed by department officials, and my department is at present currently negotiating with the owners for the potential acquisition of the site, and due to commercial sensitivities, you'll appreciate the fact that it's not possible to provide further information at this time, but I can say that the acquisition is a priority for the department, and my officials will keep the patron informed of any key developments regarding the acquisition. The site acquisition is obviously complex and it's subject to completion of the success of the negotiation and the conveyancing processes, and I wouldn't like to say something that would in any way jeopardise the outcome of that. So obviously in those circumstances it's not possible to give a definitive time frame, but I am hopeful that we will have a speedy conclusion to this and a speedy resolution to this. I know it's very, very important for the parents and indeed the children with additional needs that we expedite this as soon as possible.
Thank you very much, Minister. Senator Ward, you have 1 minute to wrap up.
Thank you, and Minister, thank you very much. I want to put on record, first of all, that I appreciate the work that you've done in this area. I know that it is an area that you've worked hard in terms of special education under your brief, and I know that you've secured money for this. I welcome particularly your suggestion that your statement that this is a priority for the department. That is welcome news. I know that there have been talks underway, and I note that you've said that you're hoping there'll be a speedy recovery. Today is the 12th of July. We're a month and a half away, essentially, from the beginning of September. I hope that speedy means that we could possibly conclude this before the beginning of the new school year. As I said, this is a ready-made solution. It merely needs the department to sign off on it at one level or another, and I hope that you in your capacity as Minister for Special Education Needs can push that through and deliver a solution for this school, for this community, and particularly for the students who need this service as soon as possible, and hopefully in advance of the beginning of the school year. But thank you for your coming and thank you for your statement.
Thank you, Senator Ward. The next commencement matters Senator Shane Cassell's relation to the National Development Plan review. Sorry, Minister, you have 1 minute. Sorry.
He's sick of my voice already.
My apologies
Senator
to you.
On a Monday
I thought it was all done.
No, not at all. No,
Sorry.
just to note that I note the comments of Senator Ward in relation to this particular school. And obviously, when there is any site acquisition by the department, we have to look at best value for money. I mean, that's a reality of the situation. So obviously that site acquisition is thoroughly interrogated and investigated by the department in that regard. I think, and I appreciate your kind comments in relation to the work that I've been doing. I mean, we've had a 286% increase in special class places in the last decade. We have 2,118 special classes this year. So, you know, that's providing 12,700 children with an additional need with a special class place. But specifically for this school, for St Mary's Boys National School, obviously I would like to see this up and running before September. But again, we have to let the negotiations take place. We have to let the department do the site acquisition and to work at it as closely as possible. But hopefully we will have good news in relation to it.
Minister, thanks. My apologies for speeding up that, because I'm always interested to hear what you have to say, and I'm particularly interested in relation to Booterstown, an area I represented for many years.